Sup YouTube, UAV Marky here with a quick review overlook of the JJRC JJ-800. As a micro quad, it's pretty similar size to the F180 and the Smart 2. I got this primarily because I saw about the gravity sensor. I was like, okay, what's a gravity sensor? Yeah, not that impressed with the gravity, so-called gravity sensor. But anyway, before I get to that, little talk about the quad. Now, the quad is a micro quad. It's pretty heavy. This is the non-camera version, but the camera goes in at the front. This version has a light instead of the camera, but you could fit a camera, set different camera, the compartment's still there for the camera. LEDs on it, yeah, they're pretty good. Not as good as the Smart 2 because they're flush mounted, pointing straight down, whereas these ones LEDs are angled out, but they're still half decent LEDs, so I like the LEDs. Now, when I first got it, it came with these props. Now I'm going to do another video on good and bad props, micro props, because these are the ones it came with were bad props in my opinion, because first flight, first power up, one of the props completely split in two. There you go. I couldn't find the other half of it, but before it even, you can see like a little bubble in the plastic, so that was like a weak spot and it just split in two. So I mean, if that would have been at eye level, that would have flew into my eye or whatever, could have blinded me, but hey ho. Plus another bugbear about this JJ-800, it came with two spare props. And guess what happened? The prop that went, I didn't have a spare for. So what is the point of selling a quadcopter with only two spare props? So basically I had one blue and one black spare prop, and that was it. That's all you got with it, was two spare props. So I'm not happy with the two spare props. Sorry to go on about two spare props, but why give me two spare props? And obviously the one I break, I haven't got a spare for. So anyway, I obviously have got spare props from other quadcopters, so I swapped over to a different set of props. And basically what I'm saying is, between the good and bad props, here's the original bad props. And if you look at the bottom of them, on the leading edge, pulling away from where the blade goes into the wind, which it would be spinning that way, on the back edge there should be a support, because that takes a lot of punishment, and there's no support on these ones. But if you look on the one, well, I don't know if you'll see it properly here, but if you do look on certain, I'll look on these ones. If you look on these ones, the back, there's more plastic to support it at the back of the prop, where the back fin comes down. If you look, there's actually it's basically a bit more thicker plastic to that end to support it as it's spinning. Good props have that. Not all good props, but most good props have that extra support at the back of the fin. So that's one thing to look out for, but I will do another video, difference between what I've found with good and bad props, because these are good props. I've had them since, these are the original props, and I've flown this more than anything, and these props haven't got that back support, but you can tell the tips of the props are cut to an angle, and the plastic is, you can tell they haven't got the support, but they're still good props and they've lasted. So not all good props have the support, but the majority of good props have that little bit of extra plastic in the corner to give it a little extra support. So anyway, back onto the quadcopter itself. The gravity controller, right, yeah, not very good in my opinion. Doesn't really control it. Came with this prop guard, which was one of the better prop guards I've seen in my time. Works really well. Connects to it sideways, easy to connect it on. Really heavy duty prop guard, But what I would say, it's going to add to the weight. Haven't really used the prop guard. Flight time isn't great on it because it's a heavy little ector. It's got the softer landing feet, but obviously just adding more weight. What else? Yeah, I'm not in, the yaw rate is a killer for me on this one. The yaw rate is painfully slow and it stays the same through all the speed rates. So this is one of the slowest yaw rate micros I've got now, and it's almost unflyable with how slow the yaw rate. But the power, the pitch, everything is okay fly wise except for the yaw rate, so big letdown on the yaw rate. The controller has these pull out hand grips, as you can see, for the gravity control. It's basically a really cheap accelerometer control, not a gravity. I don't know why they call it gravity control, but it's an accelerometer in the remote, and it basically it's really difficult to control with the gravity. You basically have to swing the remote full force left and right like a nutter to make it do. Say if I want to go forward, I have to really push it forward, and it just and it will just trickle. Sorry, excuse me. And it will just trickle a little bit forward. So the gravity sensor, which is one of these top buttons, really bad. You've got 3 rates, 40, 80 and 100. 40, 80 and 100? Really? Does that make sense? Shouldn't it be 68 and 100? Well, anyway, 40, 80 and 100 on the speed control. The control itself is a half decent looking controller. It controls it okay. It's just the gravity controller or the accelerometer controller isn't worth using. It doesn't really control it. If you're going to try and fly with it on a non-windy day outside, because if you try and fly with it inside, you're liable to crash a lot because it's really hard to control it with the gravity sensor. Anyway, it's a nice looking quad. I have noticed the motors are the upgraded new kind of motors, which I wish I had on the other quads, but these are nice motors. It's just a shame the quad's so heavy and the yaw rate is really bad and the gravity sensor is pointless. But it's a nice looking quad, flies okay, just really slow yaw rate. This is a non-camera version, so I can't really say anything about the camera versions. The flight time isn't great, but it looks pretty cool. So you pay your money, you take your choice. Anyway, on to a quick flight video. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, back with a quick flight video, quick show of the LEDs. I'm not going to do a night flight because the LEDs aren't as bright as the Smart 2 and I can't be bothered. Anyway, on to the flight video. I'm not going to try and use the gravity sensor because there's no point. It binds like any other, up, down, and you're bound. The speed rates are a speed rate button, yeah, and it clicks when you move it as well, so pretty cool. Flip button is at the top, which is why they didn't do paddle flip button, I don't know, but these buttons at the top are the function buttons. You've got all your trim buttons. But that button, I believe, is the gravity sensor. That button is the flip button, and it's really awkward to reach while you're flying. So, yeah, not the best controller, but it looks nice, and the quad looks nice. Even though, yeah, it's got some issues. But anyway, 100% rates. In fact, I'll show you 40% rates. Hasn't got much pitch in 40% rates, but it's flyable. And that's the yaw rate, that stays the same regardless. So the yaw rate is matched to the 40%, okay, but we'll go up to 80% rates. Your yaw stays the same. Really slow yaw rate, really slow, unfortunately. Up to high rates. So on high rates now, so the pitch is pretty good. Got a bit of power to it. As I said, the flight time isn't great. I'm not going to do much with it because it's not the best flyer in the world for... I mean, oh, look at that yaw rate, so slow. And that's on high rates, super slow yaw rate. It's not a bad little flyer, but it's just let down by the controller. This stupid gravity sensor. In fact, it's so heavy. The props that it came with are rubbish. What else? Yeah, and this painfully slow yaw rate. I haven't seen a yaw rate this slow in ever. One of the slowest yaw rates of, oh my god, this yaw rate is just, you can't live with it. Even on low rates, yaw rate's too slow, so on high rates you've got no hope. But as a flyer, forgetting about the yaw rate, it's pretty stable, flies pretty nice. There's no digital readout, so you have to manually trim. Do a bit of trimming out there. But it hovers pretty nice, it's a nice hoverer. It's pretty stable. I think it probably is a good camera, more of a camera quad than anything else, because the yaw rate is just too slow to be a sports flyer. If it had a faster yaw rate, it would be a sporty flyer. I would like it a lot more, but this yaw rate is too slow. Way too slow to do anything. You can't really do funnels with this because that yaw rate won't let you. So do a quick flip, which is awkward as hell. But the flips ain't bad. You know, I've got a bit of gyro knockout off the flip there. Yeah, good flips, nice tidy flips. I like the flips. Just don't like the way the flip button is. Why can't I flips? What? Whoa. I was trying to flip there. I think I was pressing the wrong frigging button. Okay, let's have a quick go with the gravity sensor. The crappy, and there's no, when you turn the gravity sensor on and off, there's no indication that it's on or off. Is it on? Is it off? I don't know. No, it's off. On. When you use a gravity sensor as well, you could, that left right stick control stops completely. So gravity sensor is on, and I've got to fly it with by twisting the remote like a nutter, and it's really hard to do. I can do it, but I don't enjoy flying with the gravity sensor. It makes it fly, it just makes it really hard to control. It's doable, but it's only useful for a hover. You can't actually do anything else with the gravity sensor. Or the stop calling it, it's an accelerometer. I don't know why they've called it a gravity sensor. Doesn't sense any gravity. It's just a cheap accelerometer, and it makes it twitchy every now and again. With the accelerometer control, it twitches like a nutter. As you can see, it's got this nervous twitch to it. You can control it but to get the pitch on it, you've really got to twist the remote controller a lot. So it's a really poor gravity sensor, or it's not a gravity accelerometer, which they call the gravity sensor, but this is me controlling it by twisting the remote. I don't know whether you could, like an idiot, and you really have to twist it a lot to control it. So it's a good job it's got soft rubber feet, because you'll need that with the gravity sensor on. Anyway, I'll turn it off. Back to normal controls. I don't think there's a manual reset. I think it's an auto reset on the gyro. But yeah, good for flips, probably good for photography because it's quite a stable flyer, but that's the flight time, that's the battery gone already. And this is without the camera in, so it's going to be less flight time with the camera. So not the best flight time, bad yaw rate, bad props, and really bad idea with the gravity control, because it's just a really bad gyro, and why would you want to control it by twist? You really have to twist the controller a lot just to get it to do anything with the gravity sensor. So you're doing this, can't fly it with that, it's ridiculous. Anyway, it's a cool looking quad. Few issues. Would I recommend it? Nah, not really. But it's a cool looking one for my collection. The motors in this are new generation motors, so you never know, I might transfer the motors out of this into something else in the future. So yeah, not a total dead loss, but not the best thing in the world. So this is the JJRC JJ-800. See you later.